Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild. Today we're going to look at the game Duels of Cartisora. I think that's how you say it. Published by Analog Game Studios. Now this is a two-player game. We're going to go ahead, and it takes about 10 minutes to play. So we're going to go ahead down to the table here. I'm going to give you a general idea of how the game plays, and then we're going to come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so in Duels of Cartisora, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be picking one of these 6 different decks. And they each have a player card on there that are going to tell you what cards are in the game and what the special cards are. So you can take a look through these different ones, and they're all unique and different. I was all upside down. All right, so they're all unique and different. So, and they have a nice little flavor to each one and how the cards play through in the decks. So you'll pick one of these, each one here, and so once you pick one, let's say I pick the green one, I will take that deck. And let's say the opponent took this one. All the other decks will get put back for now. In the game, you're going to take all these cards, you're going to take a look at them, and in the game there's going to be several different cards. You're going to have your normal power cards, which are simply going to be the value stated on them. So in this game, what you're trying to do, we're going to explain more stuff in a second here, but you're going to be putting a card down, face down on your turn to fight. Then you're going to flip these cards, and the person with the highest value wins, except for if you are one number off. If it's one number off, the lower card wins, and then you'll take both of those cards. And the person with the highest points at the end of the game is going to win. But there's a little bit more to it than simply that. There's going to be several different card types. So you have your, you have your action cards, which I'll explain a little bit better in a second here. You have your maneuver cards, and you have your reaction cards. Now your reaction cards are nice because if you wanted to, after flipped, you can play these cards to do their effect. Just read on the bottom, and that's what they're going to do. So you can do that to turn the tide of that sort of battle and whatnot. Maneuver cards get played before you do anything else. So you can place this card in the contested pool. Your opponent must ready their card face up. So you play your maneuver cards before cards are placed face down because they do different things. So that's going to be your different type. Now your action cards, you will actually play them face down like your other cards, except for they have a special ability. All right. So one thing I do need to mention that I did forget is if you tie, those cards get set aside. So if you tie in a combat, those cards get set aside, and then you do another combat, and the person that wins that combat will then win all the cards and place them in. And figuring out your score at the end of the game is really easy. So basically every card is going to be worth 1 point. The only exception is each deck has a boast card. And where'd my boast card go? So each card, yeah, right here. I was looking at it. Each one gets a boast card, and if you get this card in your deck, it's worth 2 points in there. So everything else is worth 1. This is worth 2. The other points you can get in the game is you're going to get 2 points for finishing the game, or 2 points for first blood. So you win the first combat. So that's it. That's how many points you're going to get. The game plays very quickly, so you're going to burn through this, play all these cards. It's nice that you're able to strategize on what you want to go. Do you want to go win hands really fast in the beginning, or do you want to go ahead and leave your powerful cards towards the end? What's your opponent doing? So there's a lot of strategy in that. And like I said, there's going to be like 6 different decks on here. And I do like the fact that they have these player cards, because you can glance over at your opponent and know basically what they have available. You can, if you can remember, you can sort of determine what they have left. So this game is a game that's going to reward a lot of repeated plays. It only takes about 10 minutes to play, so that you can do that a lot. Now that is just a super brief overview of how to play the game, but let's go ahead back up to the table here and I'll give you my final thoughts. Duels of Cartisora is a really fun 2-player light game. It only takes about 10 minutes to play. It has 6 different decks you can pick from, so there's a lot of replayability in the decks that you pick. I like the fact that each of the player cards will show you what they have as a deck. There's a lot of strategy in what cards you're going to lay down for your combat and what time frame you do it. There's a lot into the game. Now, I will say that this game is actually a game that rewards repeat playing. So you're going to get the most out of this game by actually memorizing, or at least looking at your opponent's cards and your own cards to determine what cards you're going to play, what cards they have left. So there's a lot in the game on the strategy of knowing the deck you're playing and knowing the deck your opponent's playing. So again, this game is going to reward playing it frequently. Good thing it only takes 10 minutes to play, so you could play this a lot. There is a nice bit of strategy in the size of the deck that you get and which decks you pick, and you can cycle through them. So there's a lot of different avenues you could go for each of the decks. So there's a lot of replayability in this game, and like I said, this is a really good filler game. So if you're looking at like finding a 2-player filler game that you can play at the end of a long day, or you could play in between games at a game night with a friend or whatnot, this is a game you may want to check out. So that is our review of Duels of Cartisora. Thank you for watching.